Welcome to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes, sitting in for Sean tonight. Mark Stein. Nice to see you, Mark.
An honor to be with you,
I love
Alan.
the pocket square. Very, very elegant. Oh. We get right to our top story tonight. So you're throwing me already. On the face of things, Hillary Clinton is full steam ahead with her presidential campaign. She's even signaling she may take her fight to the convention. But a new report from Time magazine suggests there's activity behind the scenes with top strategists putting together an exit strategy for her. Word is Bill Clinton himself is pushing Obama's people to offer Hillary the VP spot as part of her consolation prize. Meanwhile, Democratic officials announced today Obama has already started a top-secret search for his running mate. So is Hillary Clinton likely to top that list? Here to answer that and sound off on her rumored surrender strategy, former Clinton advisor Dick Morris. Dick, welcome back to the show. Where do you see it going from here?
Hey, Alan. Well, I don't think that Obama's going to pick Hillary. I think that, this myth that it would help him get elected, the people that voted against him for Hillary at the late stage of the election were either loyal Democrats who were going to support the party no matter what, or people who were just voting because they didn't like that Obama was black and was close to Reverend Wright and all of that stuff. And if you put Hillary on the ticket, he's still going to be black, and he's still going to be close to Reverend Wright.
Are you ignoring how well she's done
it's not going to make a big difference?
Pennsylvania, Ohio, Florida, how well she does with a huge segment of Democratic voters who are not racist. They're not voting because Barack Obama is black. She has a true core, a base of people who really would like her to see her in the White House.
Yeah, she does, but it's not the voters you're describing. She has a whole lot of women who strongly support her because they're feminists and really believe in that. She has a lot of people that look back at the Clinton days with nostalgia and with fondness. But the support she picked up in the last 2 months are largely people that are turned off on Obama. And they're turned off on Obama because of Reverend Wright and because of racially linked issues. And you're not going to solve that problem by putting Hillary Clinton on the right ticket for VP. You got to solve it by going off and introducing Obama to the American people and persuading them that he's not like Reverend Wright, but he's like the guy who he appears to be.
Are you suggesting there's a level of racism in the Democratic Party that could sway the election, that so many people don't like the fact that he is black and won't vote for a black person? Aren't you imbuing the Democratic Party with far more racism than actually exists?
I don't think racism is a derogatory term. It's not really an analytical term. I think that there are a large number of voters that are turned off of Obama because of his connections to Reverend Wright, his connections to William Ayers, his possible connections to Louis Farrakhan. It would be as if there were a white candidate who was allied with the Ku Klux Klan and with the Aryan racial leagues. And that would be racially linked. I don't think that there are a lot of people that say, I'll never vote for a black man. Look at how well Obama did before Reverend Wright came out in all white states. But I think once the Wright issue came out, and once there came to be that tag that was affixed to him, I think there are a lot of people who have serious doubts about him, and I don't think those doubts can be dismissed as racist.
He still does very well
nationally. But I do believe that they're linked to his race.
Still does very well nationally, still does very well in many states, just did very well in Oregon, a white state, did very well in Iowa, primarily white state. What does he have to do? There probably are a percentage of people who have some of those issues you raised. I'm not sure how big that is. What does he need to do to reintroduce himself as a general election candidate to those voters?
Well, I think that he was on exactly the right track in his second comment about Reverend Wright. Not the first one, which was weak and squishy, but the second one, where he really went after him and really laid into him with very positive and affirmative comments about the United States. And I think that he can introduce himself really as the un-Wright. I've said this on your show before. Just as he originally was the non-Sharpton, non-Jackson black candidate, the black candidate who wasn't like his predecessors. Now he, in effect, can be the black person who is not a part of that black liberation theology view.
Dick,
and I think that can be very effective. Dick,
what do you make of the idea that Hillary Clinton would want to be Barack Obama's running mate? I mean, surely for Mrs. Clinton at this stage, she would prefer it if Senator Obama went down to massive defeat and she was vindicated and could run again in 4 years' time.
Yeah, that's true. Mark, before I comment on that, I just want to tell you how much I enjoyed your book, America Alone. It's one of those books that goes beyond opinions and deals with demographics, and I thought it was terrific.
I'll take that plug, Dick. Thanks for that.
Okay. I think that Hillary definitely wants to be VP because it's her ticket onto the ticket. I think that if she's the vice president and serves 1 or 2 terms, she's the presumptive nominee in 2016. And she'll be 69, but, you know, she could get away with it at that point. And it'll give her all of the real experience that she pretended she had this time around. But I think it's a crazy choice for Obama. I don't think that she brings any votes with her. I don't think she assuages any of the fears people have about Obama. But the real point is that she drags Bill along with her. And all of the questions about Dubai and Info USA and where did his income come from and the groups that he gave speeches before and the free trade positioning and all of that stuff, combined with his now certifiably quirky public personality, becomes germane. It becomes important. It becomes readmissible. Hillary's staffing her campaign with lobbyists. How is he going to attack McCain for having lobbyists when his vice presidential candidate's campaign was run by a lobbyist? How is he going to attack McCain as a Washington insider when his VP candidate took more PAC money than anybody else in the history of the United States? So he doesn't need that baggage.
So who would you go for then? I mean, he's showing great weakness among these embittered gun nuts, as he said, in Kentucky and West Virginia. Does he need a Jim Webb type?
No. His biggest problem is that people wonder if he really knows enough about foreign policy and national security. And ultimately, that's going to be the thing that's going to be very dangerous for him. He'll ultimately get over a lot of this Reagan Democrat stuff. But some he won't, but those he just can't get. But that's going to be the big thing he can change with a VP pick. And just as John Kennedy, 43 years old, chose Lyndon Johnson, and George Bush, with no Washington experience, chose Dick Cheney, and Mike Dukakis, with no Washington experience, chose Lloyd Bentsen, he needs a Democratic Dick Cheney, like a Chris Dodd or a Joe Biden.
Well, we'll have more from Dick Morris after the break. Also coming up, Barack Obama has clinched the pledged delegate majority, but Hillary Clinton might pose the greater threat to John McCain in November. New polls are out, and the numbers will shock you. Coming up.
For the nomination.
Okay.
Mr. Senator, on the vice president.